one of the things too that I always remember growing up, and I think our purpose too can be a product of things that we've experienced in our lives. So growing up, I remember my mom always telling us, God always demands that we love God and love people. And I believe that's the main purpose for all of us, to love our fellow sisters and brothers, human beings that we interact with on a daily basis. So
that idea was planted in you very early, based on your upbringing.
Yes, exactly.
Your exposure.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
Do you find these days that in your circle, your friends and family members, that the word purpose is a common topic?
I believe it is. And for me and my circle of people, I believe that became a common topic from our experience in the last 2 years with COVID and everything that we experienced in the world, with the George Floyd situation, and just all of us experiencing the veil opening with racism. And I think that forced a lot of us to hone in on what our purpose is. What am I here for? How can I think purpose is service. How can I be of service to someone in need? Or how can I be a beacon of hope, per se, to someone who I may not know what they're going through? How can I be a good example to everybody that I meet on a daily basis? Right. So yes, I think it's a really, really big topic and a really big journey for a lot of people.
You mentioned the two major events, right, that we've experienced in recent times, and how that for some of us to question our why. Are we doing what we should be doing? Are we living the life that we should be living? And it's interesting that you say that, because many, and I know in the United States, many individuals just left their jobs.
Absolutely. Yes.
Am I spending my time on what is meaningful?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. So you're valid points you're making there about questioning your why and are we in the right place? And that purpose is a topic that is very common in your circles. I think that's awesome. What about those individuals, however, who are not talking about purpose, who are not living in their purpose? What suggestions? How can they get on board? What suggestions do you have to offer?
Basically, like Dr. Stephenson, I would, if I had the opportunity, and I do share with my daughters who, are much younger than I share on a regular basis that I'm sure they prefer that I'm not engaged in so often, that they take the time to, for me, I meditate on a daily basis to bring my full self forward and live present, right? Live present, because I think sometimes if you don't, that's the other thing I'll talk about. If you don't know your purpose, are you living present? Are you really present in your life? Or pretty much like you just said, or are you just going to a job every day and working your 9 to 5 and doing the same thing over again? So I would recommend that is very important that we take time to meditate, engage in the universe, and understand and know what our purpose is.
I think it's noteworthy that you said that, talk about your daughters, because that, the best way to change any situation starts with changing you, of course. And then the next natural step is to touch on your immediate family.
Right.
So that is a great place and a great suggestion as to how you can really make a difference, and affect others, So alignment, living on purpose, align with your purpose. What does that mean?
I believe it goes back to joy. When you're alignment, the feeling is like no other. It's something that is hard to explain. I guess I'll put it this way, right? You hear people, you mentioned in the workforce, if you hear someone say, oh, I have such a great manager, he's just, she's just an awesome person. Well, why are they an awesome person? I think because that manager knows who they are, and they're able to, without hesitation, to help develop their employee and help them succeed. So it goes full circle. That manager gets the opportunity and the joy to see that what he has contributed in that employee, that they are succeeding from what he or she provided, right? So it's full circle. The manager gets the joy, the employee gets, the elevation or the success, and everyone benefits. So I think that's why it's important to be in alignment with your purpose, because if we don't, we will withheld the benefits of those in need, and we'll hold benefits from ourselves from experiencing that joy of helping someone.
Carrying out your purpose is not just a personal thing, because there are implications for others.
Right.
Your purpose not just affect you, to affect others.
Right.
And
Exactly.
without you delivering on your purpose, then there's a price, right?
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes.
How do you know, though, when you're aligned with your purpose? How do you know that I'm in alignment?
I think I'll use myself when I was not in alignment with my purpose.
Okay, let's hear about that.
You always feel like you're searching. For myself, it always feel like something is missing, but you don't know what it is. And
An emptiness?
I'm sorry?
Is there an emptiness?
Yes, exactly. It's like an emptiness. It's like I felt like, I always use a wheat field, for example, or a maze. I'm walking through life or my everyday life, and it's like I'm not going anywhere, fulfilling anything. But even though I may be doing great at my job, but it's still there's something missing. And once I found my purpose and understand what that is, I got the privilege to have that fulfillment and that joy in my life.
Once you found your purpose.
Exactly. Once I found my purpose.
How did you find your purpose? I know you said earlier, you said something about your mother and the experience there, but your purpose, because it's transition and move on to different things. How do you keep discovering your purpose?
I believe I found my purpose, and going back to the organization that I developed. We have situations in our lives that we may consider devastating, but then without asking why it happened, I've asked myself, how can I help someone else from going through this situation? We may look at it as a crushing, but actually, you have to crush the grapes to make fine wine, right? So, you go through that crushing and you manage the outcome. You succeed the outcome. You overcome what the situation was. So then you have that experience that you can use to help someone else. So that's how I believe I found my purpose. Without asking why it happened, how can I use this incident in my life in a positive manner? So,
what am I to learn from this situation?
Exactly.
Forward.
Exactly. Absolutely. Yes.
as opposed to just sucking it up and soaking it up and say, I'm hurt, I'm damaged. There's something
Right. Or I'm bitter that happened to me, life sucks, use it in a positive manner, the things that you experience. So, yeah.
Yeah, that I always wonder about that. I think there's something to be said about a person who can turn adversity into opportunities.
Exactly. Yes.
And I think we all need to become better at doing that.
Absolutely. Yes.
I think so. I think that will serve us as individuals and our communities in a much better way. So that's something to pay attention on. So what about our schools? Is
Oh,
purpose something that should really be pushed there? Should
I
be,
do. Yes, I really do. Purpose is something that I think should be pushed in our schools, because I think, again, we have knowing your purpose also centers you. I believe if you're centered and focused on and aligned with what your purpose is. I think, like, I use the example growing up in Louisiana, the blinders are on the horse, they're focused in one area. You move them this way. Whatever you move them, the blinders will take them in the direction always and where they should go. So I think, teaching a purpose at an early age would help early students in the schools to focus on their purpose rather than focus on bullying, focus on the way someone is dressed, or also, another thing too is not education is important, I believe, but we won't have so much focus on getting an education and getting the multi-million-dollar job, or, your focus would be on benefiting, others, making at an early age, have that thought pattern to provide service to someone in need, to always keep that circle.
it's interesting to me that you talk about blinders, and one of the reasons why they use blinders on the race cars is so they can only see the finish line.
Right, exactly. Yes. Focus on where they should be. Right, absolutely. Yes.
And that's what differentiates race horses from other type of horses. Other type of horses are all over the place.
Absolutely. Yes.
Race horses focus on one thing, and that's why they block out
Right.
all other things, distractions.
Right, exactly. Yes.
Very, very important, very important, very important stuff there.